Hello, lovely people. I welcome you to the very first episode of my podcast. In this episode, I will talk about something that might have been experienced by some of you here. And let me tell you the situation. It's like when you are always very eager to read books all the time, but suddenly you just lost interest in it. And it's not about you losing interest with one book or two, but it's more like the activity of reading, the activity that might have been your hobby all along, and you don't have motivation to read at all. Have you been in this kind of a situation before, or do you currently feel this way? Well, if so, you are already have experience or are currently in the reading slump phase. If I had to define this reading slump, the most simple definition of reading slump to understand is reading slump is a pace where you lose interest in reading. It's when you're reading a book and you can get to it and you don't want to read anymore. It is such a nightmare for readers like us because for me, I have been in this pace like 4 years and I feel so sad that I couldn't enjoy reading like I used to. I don't know why it happened, but when I look at some information about reading slump, there might be some reason for it. And why don't we look at it together? Okay, the first one is boredom. Well, it's possible to get bored of something even though that is something that we like the most, and this is known as one of the common causes, also the easiest to overcome. And the next one is the book hangover. Have you ever heard this line? It sounds so unique because to be honest, I never heard about it before. So, what does this slang mean? The book hangover is the situation when you finish reading a book or story that is so great that you can get yourself to move on to another new story. I had experienced this book hangover before, and it's really difficult for me to read a new book because my mind sits still on the previous book. It's interesting because that kind of situation has a name. Okay, now let's move to the next one. I think this reason has a relation with the previous one. When you have a book hangover and push yourself to read a book that might not be too enthusiastic, well, it also leads to a reading slump. That's why you need to avoid the books which you don't like or even pick up heavy lifting books. I think I need to make it to be the last one. It's pressure to review. Maybe you find yourself compelled to write reviews or offer feedback for every book you finish. It can become burdensome and affect your enjoyment of reading. Okay, those are some reasons that cause a reading slump, and now how to break out of a reading slump. No worries because there are some things you can do. The first thing you can do is to visit your old favorites. Reconnecting with a favorite author or story can remind you of the joy of reading. I think it's one of the effective ones, the most effective ones. Also, you can try to read the shorter works first, and this will make you feel less burdened by having to read long texts all at once, and it will help you get accustomed to reading more frequently again. Okay, what else we can do? Try to read with audiobooks. If you find it hard to sit down with a physical book, try audiobooks. You can read while doing other tasks or during commutes, but you need to concentrate on it. And what if you need someone to help you to reconnect you back to the journey of reading? Joining a book club will help you for sure. Being part of a book club can provide motivation and structure, and discussing books with others can make reading more engaging. However, you don't need to feel guilty about taking a break from reading if it's needed. Reading should be an enjoyable activity, not a chore. Just like any other hobby or interest, it's crucial to prioritize self care and mental well being. Taking a break from reading can provide the necessary mental refreshment, and stepping away from reading for a while may reignite your passion for it. Absence can make the heart grow fonder, and when you return to books, you may appreciate them even more. Also, you need to know that our interests and moods can change over time. It's perfectly normal to have periods where other activities or responsibilities take precedence over reading. Embrace this change and allow yourself to explore new interests. So, it's not totally a bad thing. Okay, we are already in the last session of this episode. We have learned lots of things, and I will give you a book recommendation that is engaging and likely to pull you out of your slump. It's Hello by Tiara. In short, Hello is about Anna, a construction expert who is asked to renovate his mother's house. During the process of renovating the house, Anna discovers an old love story about the house. From what I have read, I realized this book is quite light to read and won't burden you with many questions while reading it. It's a good book to rekindle your love for reading. I think this will be the end of today's podcast. There are many things we can learn from a reading slump, and there are also many things we can do to distance ourselves from it. I hope you like today's podcast, and thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.